Welcome to Unmuted, a podcast from the Creative Film, Television and Digital Media Production course here at the University of Northampton. I'm Esme Sperling and I'm joined by some very special guests today. They are our amazing technical demonstrators. I am joined by...
Hello, I'm Hannah.
Hello, I'm Laurence.
Hello. And together we'll be unmuting the conversations, ideas and creative processes that we shape and how we make it, and get to know Hannah and Laurence a little bit more in detail.
Which everyone is looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm so happy already.
So I just want to have a bit of an overview of your industry experiences in media and the creative industry. Can you tell our listeners a bit more about yourselves?
I can go first if you want.
You go first.
So I started, when I first left school, I went and did my A-levels in art, film and photography. But around that time, I started working my first job in freelance, equestrian videography, I think is the polite term for it. But
Horses.
That meant, yeah. I used to film a lot of point-to-point horse racing.
Nice.
A lot of point-to-point horse racing. And then from there, I sort of did that for a little while, and I thought that would lead on to something, and it really didn't. So I ended up going to uni quite late, and I did my HND in digital filmmaking. I sort of specialised in directing. Then I took that up to a BA at the illustrious University of Northampton. And after that, I've sort of done a lot of different things, mostly films though. Done lots of different jobs on different films, but mostly directing, producing, sort of little independent work. And so sort of in the past 5 years, I've been doing a lot more directing whilst I've been teaching here.
And you've worked a lot on the Northampton Film Festival as well.
I work closely with the Northampton Film
Yes,
Festival, but that is because I've done a lot of work directing films for them. And so I do a lot of directing films for them. And also I do a lot of the sort of youth teaching for them. So we do Saturday Club, BFI Youth Academy. That's quite fun. So we do a lot of that.
Nice. Fantastic. And Hannah, can you give a bit of an overview for our listeners?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people run under the assumption that because I work mostly on the TV modules that I am just a TV person. But actually my background is in film production. So I studied film production at the University of Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
With the idea that I was going to be a screenwriter/director. That didn't happen. I did an internship at Aardman for a couple of months, which was really exciting. And then I had to move back home for reasons, which was in Northamptonshire, and ended up finding a TV channel in Peterborough.
Wow.
And ended up working in shopping telly for about 8 to 10 years. And then I'm back in education as a technician demonstrator, and I'm slowly coming back into film.
Yes. Exciting.
Seemingly.
Oh my God. It's like a full circle moment.
It is a little bit. And what's also interesting is that what was originally going to be narrative is also documentary now. So it's a bit of a full circle, but a bit of a weird squiffy circle.
Yeah. It's never like a direct line from A to B, is it?
No.
It's always And when you were on the shopping channel as well, what was one of the craziest items or objects that they were trying to sell?
Oh God, because it was mostly crafting.
Right.
So you'd spend a lot of time watching people selling paper.
Really?
I know a lot about
like textured paper.
Yeah, I know a lot about GSM and thickness of paper.
Yes.
What was strange for the channel itself was that there was this one particular product and it was glue, I think.
Right.
And it was this fairly older gentleman, and he would come in and sell this. And he was quite a skinny guy.
Okay.
And I remember him demonstrating this glue and of how strong it was. And the items he was demonstrating were getting more and more elaborate as the hour went on, to the point where he was getting like string on weights.
Wow.
And this tiny man with glue was lifting these massive weights, and we're there going, oh my goodness, something's going to go wrong. There'd be all sorts.
So the glue would be the glue between the string and the weights?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just to test out how strong the glue was?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're selling me on this glue.
Unfortunately, I couldn't even tell you what that glue was now.
Government bought it.
My job at the channel was mostly just making sure that nothing broke.
Right.
And then trying not make the directors hate me.
I know. And Laurence, we will come back to you on your previous experience, and I particularly want to go into where you first studied as well in just a minute. But Hannah, you mentioned, and it's already on here on my prompts, that you were a production assistant at Aardman Animations, and I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, so it was part of my degree was a work experience module, and it ended up, so my lecturer, luckily enough, he had connections to Aardman and worked there. He actually works there now. He runs the Aardman Academy.
Wow. Where Wallace and Gromit was made.
Yeah. And I worked on a feature film that was being filmed there called Emperor. And I worked there as a production assistant for a little while, and it was crazy. I remember one particular day, I was there trying to not get in the way and learn. But a guy had walked on set. Yeah. An older gentleman, and I didn't know who he was, and I was just having conversation with him. I just assumed it was some guy that just wandered in, because that was a thing that happened. So I had a little chat to him, made a coffee for him and stuff, and then later he'd left, and the first AD walked over and he was like, "Oh, so you know Nick?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "You know who that was?" I'm like, "No." He was like, "Oh, that was Nick Cave." No. And I'm just there like, oh my God. And I'm desperately trying to think, did I say anything to embarrass myself? But at the end, because I was there towards the end of the shoot as well, so I was involved in the crew photo that I can forward to you as well. But there's an old picture of me, and then also behind me is Nick Cave.
Oh my God.
Because he wanted this to be next to me, and it was very much like a...
Yeah.
Oh. But it's like, you know the name, but I didn't know what he looked like.
But you made him a coffee or a tea, and then
and just had a little natter. But I think it's just one of those examples. It's like on set you can be that lowest person and in the tent pole, but you can still have that opportunity to
but it opens so many doors, right?
It does. And just being able to just wander around the studios at Aardman, I went into workshops and I got to see them creating clay for future films that they were working on. I went into a studio and had a little nose because they were making a Change for Life. You remember those old Change for Life ads?
Yeah.
With the blobs, they made those, so they were making that advert, and I got to have a little sneak in and have a watch. So it was such an amazing experience. And then I got to live in Bristol as well, which was I loved Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol's cool.
So that was a fun place to
Did you
hang
get
out.
to meet Shaun the Sheep?
I think there was about 10 versions of Shaun the Sheep that I saw, and they were all on a little shelf, and I was just there. There was the Chicken Run characters were there as well. There was a slightly scary one where their face was off because they were making some adjustments to the eyes, so that looked a bit horrifying, but it was so cool just to kind of go into that space.
Nice. And Chicken Run is one of my favourites.
It's such a fun film.
Yeah. It is the best Aardman film.
Laurence, coming to you.
Sure.
So, I believe you were a student here at Northampton.
Rumours do precede me.
Can you, in creative film?
Well, it wasn't creative film then.
Right.
It was called Media and Moving Image then.
Right.
It changed to creative film after I left. So I'd done my HND at Booth Lane College, which was accredited by the University of Northampton. That was a HND in digital filmmaking.
Nice.
And then I sort of topped up to do... So most like most of the top-up students, I came and did my last year here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from your experience as a student at Northampton, then to being a technical demonstrator now... What would you say is the main changes that you've seen in the industry or here at the university for students? I know that's quite a broad question.
I do broad questions. I can do a broad question. You need to visual one to see my face go,
I wanted the reaction.
A lot of different things. I think it's quite interesting to talk to people and say what the situation was like. So, when I started at uni, tape was just finishing.
Right.
You didn't shoot on tape anymore. DSLRs were just coming in. So everyone was really impressed with this Canon 5D. It's such a cool camera. And we all wanted one. And Red had just come into the market. Red had just released the Red 1. So anybody who knows the history of Red, the guy who invented Oakley just was like, I can make a camera. And everyone went, sure. And then he did. And it was a horrible camera, but it was quite impressive. And so these were all the things that were sort of going on at the time. And, you know, we were getting really fascinated by stuff. But really what we had access to was very minimal. What happened was after I came to Booth Lane, after leaving Booth Lane and coming to what was then Avenue Campus, we had a very small kit hire. It wasn't very high tech. It was certainly nowhere near where it is now. We hadn't even bought the C100s when I was there. So after I left, the C100s were purchased and they were like amazing.
Wow.
Sort of all right. And then they've hung around a little while. But they're good cameras. But after I left the university, I actually worked for the university for a little while.
Yes.
So there used to be an intern program. And I was the first intern. They sort of trialled it with me. And so it was my job to produce some video for the university.
And can you say what was one of the first videos that you produced for Northampton?
I can tell you what the first video was. Marketing had partnered with an external company.
Right.
To shoot something about, I think it was a mental health charity, whose name I cannot remember, but I remember animating that they had 2 apostrophes as their logo. Right. And I'd animated these apostrophes sort of coming together, spinning, and then flying out, and their logo appearing. I remember this really vividly. I don't know why I remember it so vividly, but I remember it really vividly. I think it's because I spent a whole morning doing it.
Really? Oh my gosh. And yeah, that editing process is, you know, when you do like the first draft and then you go back to the client or manager or whoever you're working with at the time, and then it's just like you're waiting to hear how many edits they want or changes. And then if there's no changes, it's brilliant.
Well, marketing used to hate me because I would bring whoever I was partnered with in marketing and make them come and sit with me whilst I edited. And they kept going, and my boss keeps telling me off for coming. I was like, yeah, but do you know what's in it now? And they were like, yeah, I suppose I do. And I was like, well, yeah, there you go then. So
now you are both our technical demonstrators here at the University of Northampton on various different creative courses. It's not just creative film, across the board journalism, sport, esports. No,
occasionally we do stuff with esports. Sometimes they do have sort of broadcasting elements, which is when they go into the studio. But yeah, journalism, sports journalism. We both work on a module with photography.
Yeah, nice.
We also do a bit with we do anything with product design?
I think that was touched on for a while, and then we didn't. Yeah. We did for a bit, and now we don't.
Yeah, we've fingers in a lot of pies.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it sort of becomes this thing of like, if somebody needs to learn how moving image works, it sort of ends up falling to us because that's the interesting thing about the sort of technical teaching and how universities work, is that people have different specialisms, but it's kind of interesting because you sort of see our backgrounds are very similar but sort of also different at the same time, you know, but it does mean that, you know, lots of different people need different things, and so you have to be a little bit adaptable.
Absolutely. And our students here at Northampton have so many different ideas and creative decisions to make, so it's keeping up with all of that as well, like all their different projects. So what is something that you wish you'd have known just before you started out in these technical demonstrator roles? Something you'd known previous before the role?
Oh, you can't explain it. You actually can't explain it. It took me I started at a really weird time. So I just finished a very big film project, and it hadn't gone hugely well. And so sort of a friend of mine who used to be a technician demonstrator here had sort of said to me, the University of Northampton is looking for someone. And it was about sort of December 2019. And I'd gone, I kind of just need to do something different for a while. And so I'd come here, and I started in March 2020. Which was a very interesting time, as we all know.
Yes.
So you sort of start doing this job, and I did not understand it, mostly because I was working from home. But then sort of when we come back, I was going, this job's really strange. I don't really know quite how to, because I'm trying to facilitate things for people and help people understand stuff. And every day is kind of a bit of a different experience.
Absolutely.
But also what you start to realise is you were trying to say there's a technician demonstrator on every course. That's the same job title. Someone could be teaching sewing skills or how to do prosthesis or, you know, all sorts of weird things. So you kind of, what I'd wish I'd known, but you can't tell somebody, is like the job sort of molds to what you know and what you bring to the table. Like Hannah brings so much stuff to this like course that I just could not do. I just have no skills in that department. You know, so you sort of have to go, what do I bring to the table? Which is quite enlivening, because it means over the past few years I found myself saying things to people that I was going, I should probably do that as well, actually, thinking about it. That is probably good advice. I should do that. So, you know, you kind of bring what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What would you say, Hannah?
I think it's, you bring what you know, but it's also not being afraid to admit that you don't know stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And that it's, you are sometimes just as much learning on the job as the students. And it's okay to admit that. Like, sometimes a student will come up to me and be like, oh, how do I do this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's go find out together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And oftentimes they really appreciate that, if not more often than you just telling them what to do. Yeah. Because it's especially in the creative industries, it's ever evolving, it's so ever changing.
Fast paced.
Things that there's constantly new workflows, new ways of doing things.
The software updates.
100%. And oftentimes I'm learning from the students, which is also okay to admit.
Yes.
Like, we are not here as the be all end all experts. No. We are just as much fumbling in the dark as the students. But the point is that you're admitting that, and you're being honest, and that you're learning along with the students. So I definitely came in feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome, because I didn't feel like I had the qualifications or the confidence compared to like Laurence or Carly or Laura. And then it's very much me, like Laurence says, I bring what I do know and continue to grow because of it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like, imposter syndrome also is like the heart of this industry.
Yeah.
Oh, it is just like the heart of it. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. You can talk to people, and, you know, and you spend a lot of time always trying to seek out people who are above you to sort of be like, hey, I'm doing a thing. Can we talk about it? Can, you know, help me out with it? Yeah. And you start to listen to them talk, and they go, I'm not sure about this thing. And you're like, what do you mean you're not sure? you know, that's why I came to you. Yeah. You know, and you start to see this process of like, you always think the skill is learning the skill. The skill isn't learning the skill. The skill is learning to be adaptable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, and so you sort of have that thing where someone goes, well, how do you do this thing? You go, I didn't learn, the stuff I've learned doesn't mean I get to answer things instantaneously. It means I have a bunch of blocks to build new solutions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And people don't learn. You have to learn that by building solutions.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those people as well, they always, because I certainly used to be like this, and I still am to some extent, they look for that validation externally, and they're relying on other people telling them not only what to do or how to do it, but telling them whether they're doing it right or not. Yeah. When oftentimes that person is just happy the work is done. Yeah. And that validation needs to come from yourself. You know, it's something that, like, I'm doing a lot, trying to do with the journalism students at the moment when they're handing in their documentaries and they're in their edit suite, and I'm like, helping them make their credits, for example. And I'm like, look at that. You've put a film by you. Yeah. That is a thing you have done. Yeah. Does that not feel really good? And they're like, yeah, that is, look at this thing that I've made. And be proud of yourself. Yes. Like, I'm proud of you, but you should be prouder of yourself. Absolutely. So it's just making sure that you are validating yourself and telling yourself that, yes, you're still working, you're still improving, but you're still doing a good job regardless.
Absolutely. Okay, so far we've talked about your experiences in the industry and currently right now here at the University of Northampton, but let's zoom out a little bit. So what's actually happening in the film and television industry right now? So I know.
It's a funny time.
It is a funny time. If we think about, especially from your experience in both film and television, how do you think film and TV are being shaped by social trends? Like the big one, TikTok.
Well, I think this is a funny one because I think what's happening is that I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people about this. You're starting to see some very weird things occur, and one of those things is that I think what we'd call traditional media, it doesn't understand that the eyeballs have moved. You look at young people. You look at a lot of people, and they are choosing to have something quick and easy.
Yeah.
You consume something quick and easy. It's right there. It's in front of me. I'll do that. Like the amount of people you talk to who go like, and I think the very difficult thing is to see outside of people who are within our circles. We must love film and TV, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And so you listen to people who are outside of those circles and they're not watching as much stuff, or they're watching it really differently. They're second screening TV shows because they can binge it in long processes. It's sort of spelled out for them. They've got short form content here, and there's something interactive and something backgroundy.
Yeah.
And so splitting their attention in very different ways. And a lot of people are now struggling with like, I will go to the cinema. And you can see this with the way stuff is edited.
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters. Like first 20 minutes of that is really difficult to watch if you're like, I'm going to sit and watch a film. And I suddenly realised they were like really hyping all the editing, all the cuts are quick. We're getting through stuff, we're milling through story. And you go, oh, because you're aiming this at like 11-year-olds who cannot sit. They just cannot sit down. They need to be bedded in for 20 minutes, otherwise they're not going to watch the rest of this.
And sometimes not even 20 minutes.
Well, exactly. They need to be like speedy, until eventually their brain can like give in. Yeah. And just absorb.
Yeah, and I think if I'm looking at it from like a broadcast TV perspective, there was about 10, 15 years ago, there was a sort of starting to embrace the social media side. Like you had shows such as the Russell Howard, what was the Russell Howard show called?
Oh, Good News.
Russell Howard's Good News?
I think it was something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But he would have a segment based on online things happening online. Yeah. The Last Leg, I think, still does something similar. I think Josh Widdicombe used to have a segment where he'd find funny online videos. Yeah. There was also an entire game show, that name I didn't watch. It was on ITV 3 or 2.
That was exactly the one you made.
It was a panel show about online trends. Okay. So there was about 10-15 years ago that slowly embracing that, but I think as opposed to how the industry's kind of turned now, as opposed to embracing it, it's now chasing virality. And it's
and those viral moments
as well. It's trying to catch those viral moments. And very few shows actually seem to kind of grab that. I mean, recently the only shows that I've seen that really kind of catch and have transferred quite successfully to TikTok like shorts would be something like Last One Laughing, which has opened up a lot of like younger people. Have got introduced to like Bob Mortimer, for example. So that's kind of short, quick comedian-based comedy, and then Taskmaster as well can sometimes have that effect depending on the season. So, but those come from more natural moments as opposed to, i.e. just letting people be people as opposed to trying to purposely chase trends and chase virality. And then you do see some shows which are trying to attempt that chase and it doesn't quite translate, because what I think people often look for now is authenticity with social media, which is why you have those like kind of reality based shows, like you got your Love Island, your Married at First Sight, which are always going to have those explosive moments which catch that kind of short attention span consumer. So it's very difficult for that kind of legacy media to be able to create that authentically.
Because remember, it's all scripted.
It is all scripted.
But that's that other thing as well, is you kind of have those shows like 8 Out of 10 Cats does it, where they do like these big blocks on YouTube, like these big like, oh look, it's all of Joe Lycett being wacky. And you go like, well, why? And it's like because other people were already doing it, and they were like, oh, there's clearly a market for this.
But I think it's because it's based on sort of those clip videos of Vines.
I said Joe Lycett and I meant Joe Wilkinson. Joe Lycett being wacky, that's not a thing.
But it's, I for one, when I'm feeling sad and depressed and want to feel nostalgic, I go onto YouTube and get Vine compilations. So it's that same kind of mindset, but Vine, much in the same way that TikTok is, it's that very short span, quick, easy, authentic.
But that's the other interesting thing about that authenticity, is it's not authentic, like you said. It's so all the people who go on Love Island have an ulterior motive. That when they come out the other end of Love Island, that they do not need to go back to an office job. That is the whole
They're
point.
just going to pick their phone up and have suddenly 1 million followers, and then get a brand involved.
Well, a manager will step in, you know, like
sell some fast fashion, and then done.
Yeah, well, exactly. Oh, I'm going to do a personal app. It'll be fantastic. I'm a lifestyle guru.
But this seems to be turning more into like a sociology debate conversation now, because that just seems to be how kind of younger people kind of consume, because these are people who have never known a world without Facebook, have never known a world without social media. So their life is entirely based and skewed around how you are presented on social media. Absolutely. So therefore that presentation is authenticity to them. So it's that change.
But here's the other thing, because I was thinking about this recently. I was watching some video and it was a guy, what was it? He was talking about like reasons, like, you know, he had like an emotional thing and the reason why he'd have to change his channel or something. And there was an ad read in the middle. Oh. How do you transition from like my life is difficult to, by the way, Raycon's here? Yeah. You know, and you go, and for me, I go, that's horrendously inauthentic. Like, you can't try and talk to me about the difficulties you're having and the way we've got to change the channel up and then be like, by the way, buy my merch.
Yeah.
But
side note.
But exactly. But and so like I think. But does that mean? And I'm wondering if that changes for a younger generation, whether they are looking at that and watch, because these are all the things you consider as someone who makes something. Yeah. You start to go, well, who am I making stuff for, and how does that work? Yeah. Because if you're totally fine with someone in the middle going, you know, and by the way, life's really tough at the minute, might take a step back from the channel, could you buy some Raycons? Yeah. You know, that's a different mentality. That's a different way of viewing things. That's a different, you know, intention. But I mean, but the irony is you see the head of Sony Pictures come out at CinemaCon recently, and he said to all the theatre owners, he goes, yeah, we're pulling our end of the bug. Could you maybe step up? And one of the things is, can you stop putting so many adverts at the front? No one's watching them. Yeah. People know to turn up late. What are you doing? Why are you trying to do that? And you go, yeah, that's a fair point. I sat in the cinema recently and I was like, there's another Audi ad.
And like the irony is, I saw that exact same news story. I saw it on TikTok this morning.
There you go.
Okay, now in the segment of Unmuted, we're gonna go to our audience questions that have come through on our Instagram on Creative Film.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
What time to be alive.
Yes. These are going to be anonymous. So the first one is, what would you do if you didn't previously work in film or television?
I had a really weird one about this because there have been a lot of times. I worked a lot in independent film, which is really good fun. It's definitely not difficult. And so you sort of I woke up, I had a lot of days, I had a lot of evenings where I was like, I could just not do this. I could just not do this anymore. This is really difficult. I could do something else. I could make money. I could not be broke for the entirety of my 20s. But I always had this thing where I was like, I don't know what I'd do tomorrow. I don't know what I do when I wake up. What do I do? What do I go do? And that's why I never changed. It's why it never stopped, because it was like I don't know what I would just keep doing this. I just would not stop doing it. I mean, the answer you're probably looking for, like the reality of it, is if I never discovered film and TV, like, I don't know, computer programming or something. I'm a bit nerdy, but I can't imagine doing anything else. Yeah, that's the big thing. Nice. It's just a little bit. It's just a little baked in there. I don't know. It's just how it is.
Hannah,
I mean, I'm glad Laurence asked first, because I had to think about it, because I had an instinctual answer.
Okay.
And I was like, would that be a little like cringe saying that? But then now if I think about it, like, no, this
you got to say it now.
It's fine, because Laurence was so cringe. It's
it's fine. So when I was young, all I wanted to do was to be a writer. Nice. I only wanted to write. And I thought I was, until I realised that film was a job you can do, which was like, oh my god, absolutely 100%. I was gonna go do an English degree. Nice. I have poetry published in some places.
We need that for the next episode.
No, absolutely not. I haven't written poetry in a good minute. But I was going to be a writer, and when that inevitably wasn't going to work out, because it's equally as hard to get into the writing world as it is in the film and TV world. I would have probably become an English teacher, so I think I would have eventually fallen into education in some aspect or not, which is a little bit of a. So I seem to have, again, accidentally full circled.
Nice.
But yeah, I still do write occasionally.
Oh, lovely.
But it's what I love. You know, when like I said before, I went to study film production to go be a screenwriter.
Amazing. Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
No, go. We need more questions. I can't drag that one out.
Okay. Next question. What is the best creative course to be a tech for? Ooh.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Obviously, we love doing creative film. Like, obviously,
the best
obviously. But I'm starting to think of something that we don't work on that looks really fun. Like, I am very jealous of, like, you know, like the guys with the woodworking studio.
Yeah.
You know, like getting to play power saws all day and stuff. And I am quite jealous of Paddy that Paddy has, like, PlayStation development kits. Like, that's so cool to play with. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, we make games.
Yeah.
You're like, that's very cool.
Yeah. Like, my second love after film is video games.
Yeah.
So
The Last of Us is my favourite.
It's
great.
great game.
Great show, great game.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paddy has a really cool job. Serena's got a really cool job in esports, and then the woodwork workshop where they get to play with lots of things that can kill you.
You know, and everyone has really cool stuff. You sort of do look over and go, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And you like to think that people look back the other way, but I don't think they do. I think like, what do you do again? Films?
They come over and they're like, oh, this looks good, and then they see me with my unbrushed hair and frazzled look and on the brink of crying and go, maybe not.
Are you okay over there? You're like,
I'm fine. Whilst my eyes ticking. It's fine.
just gonna rewind.
The TriCaster's not working again.
Do you even know what a downstream kit is?
I think it's something you mentioned to me the other day, Hannah, was like, are you overstimulated yet? When I went into kit hire and I had like my induction to kit hire and I was seeing everything in there.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay, last question of our audience questions. Who is your favourite colleague?
Laura.
Oh, nice.
100% Laura. Laura, tippity
Absolutely.
I remember when I first started, Laura was me and Laura are both quite naturally introverted, and when I was like settling in, it was over the summer. And I remember, I think I was walking out the studio and Laura was like walking to kit hire, and we looked at each other and we both at that exact same moment through the exact same pose.
No way.
Just as like T-posing.
This
And we'd only known
podcast.
each other for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we both did that. And we were still trying to find each other's footing, and we were just like,
nice. Yeah.
this is our people.
Yeah.
I think also, like, Laura does such a good job.
Yes.
Laura does such a good
absolutely.
job
Yeah.
at what Laura does.
Laura needs to be on the next episode.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea that Laura wasn't in here with us,
Yeah.
because that would have just gone all over the place.
So unhinged. But like, Laura is amazing doing what Laura's job is. What Laura's job is so hard.
Yes.
Like, it's unbelievably difficult, and I don't
Yeah.
think people understand that quite from afar, because it's not just like,
For one person
here are
as
bags
well.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, not only is there like huge amounts of stuff to be in charge of, but it's also like keeping that place tidy.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Especially-
organised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard, and it's not just creative film. Laura like helps support like so many courses. It's unreal.
Yeah.
100%.
And the knowledge of all the kit as well.
Yeah.
That. So thank you, Laura, as well. I hope you're listening to this.
Yeah.
As
Shout
an
out.
extra side note, I hate Laurence's guts.
It's true, and I hate me too. It works.
No, he's great to work with.
So, a new segment I'm going to introduce to Unmuted now to wrap up the episode,
Go
which
on.
we've never done before, is a quick fire round.
I love being a guinea pig.
Okay,
Human
I'm
experimentation, Esme. We like this.
I'm really scared.
I've got one section where it's just general for both of you to answer, and then I've got
Okay.
a couple for individuals.
Oh, that's even more terrifying.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So I'm going to ask you, it's like a this or that.
Cool.
Okay.
We can do that.
And you have to tell me what you'd prefer and try and do it at the same time to see if you're on the same wavelengths.
Okay.
I like the fact we're going to answer opposite on everything.
Okay, quick fire round coming up.
Do it. Let's do
Canon
this.
or Sony?
Sony.
Hannah. It's got
Yes.
quick fire round. Quick fire round.
A good camera's a good camera.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
okay.
I have no strong opinion.
Yeah, but
Canon or Sony?
Canon, I guess.
Canon.
I've used more Canon.
Yeah,
but
me
the
too.
Venice is a beautiful thing.
I've not used the Venice.
Well, there we go. There we go.
I would be more Canon. Sorry, Laurence.
You're allowed to be wrong. It's okay.
Prime lenses or zoom lenses?
Primes,
Natural light or studio lighting?
natural,
Natural, yeah.
Handheld or tripod?
Tripod.
Did you say handheld?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I did the other
When
day,
done
actually.
correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
When done correctly.
Paul Greengrass over here.
Plan storyboard or improv on set?
Storyboard.
Depends on the situation.
Small crew or full production team?
Full production team.
Yeah, Paul.
Okay.
Full production team, yeah.
Full production team.
We won't just pretend that for the first years we did tell them that you can just run the studio with just a couple of them.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah.
The mantra of Kit High.
Hannah's number one tip. Do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely.
But luckily we do have full production teams.
100%. Having just filmed my documentary with an extremely small crew,
Yeah.
with inconsistent staff people because they have lives.
Okay. One perfect take or fix in post?
Perfect take.
take.
Fast turnaround or polished final product?
Polished final product.
Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve?
DaVinci!
It's probably DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci!
Now that
baby.
Now that they've sorted out their subtitling, it's probably DaVinci.
And that's something for us to look forward to here at Creative Film, is we're
Absolutely.
going to be looking at more DaVinci Resolve later on.
Absolutely.
In the new academic year as well.
Yeah.
So that'd be exciting.
We thank our DaVinci overlords.
Thank our Australian overlords.
Oh.
Colour grade, heavy or keep it natural?
Oh.
It totally depends on the
Yeah,
project.
depends.
Totally depends on the project.
Depends.
Depends on the project.
Okay.
Depends on the project.
Yeah.
If you choose one.
I like a nice, clean, natural look, but it really depends on the project.
Thing is, a clean, natural look can only really be achieved by
Yeah.
colour grading.
It's true.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Music first or visuals first?
Music.
Visuals.
Oh.
Music. Every day of the week, music. Got to have that. Got to decide the tempo at some point. Music.
Subtitles always or only when needed?
Only when needed.
Only when needed.
Okay. Hannah, just for you. Scripted sell or spontaneous pitch?
Okay. So a scripted sell in TV is called a call to action,
Okay,
a CTA,
okay,
kind of.
okay.
Maybe that's probably really wrong, and I'm going to get
That's
a
fine.
message off of
Okay.
my colleague Andy Smith being like, "All the things I've taught you." What was the question again? Sorry.
Scripted sell or spontaneous pitch?
Spontaneous pitch. Let the
Okay.
presenters do the work.
100%.
Let's get
And
paid more
I
than
bet
me.
on the shopping channel you have to be spontaneous as well, because you're going to have maybe callers coming in or text or interactivity, perhaps.
Yes, and I think a scripted sell, shopping TV is so strained, the audience, because they love watching it, but they don't want to feel like they're being sold something.
Yeah.
So the moment that you have that scripted
Yeah,
sell,
that's true.
and they know they're being sold, it immediately falls apart, which is
Isn't that modern YouTube?
exactly. But shopping TV is more in lean with the old. Although you're now getting that app that is now basically a shopping channel.
Oh yeah, I know the
What's
one you
it?
mean.
What not?
eBay does the same thing.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird.
Can you live streaming eBay auction? I
Yeah.
have such a fun idea for that, which I'm not going to say out loud because I really want to do it. And I
But
don't want to steal it.
ordinarily the presenters get paid a lot more than what I would get paid, so they can bloody earn it.
Yeah.
Earn your crust.
Yeah.
Be charismatic, sell product. Go
Exactly.
on. Just do your thing.
Product close-ups or presenter focus?
Product close-ups,
Okay. Live broadcast or pre-recorded control?
pre-recorded.
Okay. Laurence, coming to you. This
Go
is
for
just
it.
festival audience or online releases?
Oh, online releases.
Okay.
That's actually it. Because I think festival audiences are fun, but what's it, 100 people in a room? Who cares? Like, you could get 1,000 people on YouTube in an afternoon.
And we have the live streaming today of.
We do.
Free-
Yeah, you will have more people watch that than will be in a festival room. And I love a festival run, but, you'll have more people watch it.
Narrative driven or visual storytelling?
That's an interesting one, because I think if you don't have I think of like Richard Linklater's Slacker, and you go, cool, this is fun. Well, why are we here? Whilst if you don't have like that driving narrative, you sort of feel like you've got to something at the end. Yeah.
And dialogue heavy or minimal dialogue?
Minimal dialogue.
Okay.
Minimal dialogue.
Let the visuals do the talking.
Yeah.
Show, don't tell.
Show, don't tell.
Yes. Nice. Interesting. I feel like I've learned a lot about you both from that episode.
Well, it was all lies, Esme, so...
Yeah.
I'd like to
What do you make for
apologise in
that?
advance.
Thank you so much, Hannah and Laurence, for being on Unmuted. This has been a great episode, and you've been amazing guests.
Well,
on
thank you
this.
for having us.
Yeah,
It's been a
been
lovely
fun.
time. It's been fun.
Lawrence, do you reckon you could do the outro, lead us out of Unmuted in like a Western, as if you're on a Western set as a director?
Oh, on a Western set,
Yeah.
so I have to be John Ford. I'm going to be John... I'm going to do that thing where I sit there and go like, okay, you're done. You're done. That's it. I want to clear it down. You shut it down. We're done. We're out. You got the horses need to go. We're leaving. Unmuted is done.
You were drifting into Lynch. That's
because
into
I
Lynch.
was thinking of when he's in that Spielberg thing where they go, hey kid, do you want to meet the greatest filmmaker ever lived? And it's David Lynch playing John Ford. I'm like, yes. And I won't repeat what he said.
Well, catch you next time on Unmuted. We're going to have more special guests, and stay tuned. Thank you very much for Hannah and Laurence for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.